My name is Rachelle Smith, entrepreneur, professional speaker, and author. Last time, kicked off this series, Courage to Change, because folks, don't be afraid of change. I promise you, if you get over your fears and just choose faith, take steps, I promise you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. And I actually want to read something as we talk about this concept of change. One of Joel Osteen, I used to read a lot of his stuff, and he's certainly been one of the folks that's positively impacted my life. And I want to read something, and I want you to think about it in relation to this concept of having the courage to change. There's an old story about a little frog that was born at the bottom of a small circular well, similar to those you might see at a typical rural farm. He and his family lived there, and he was content to play in the water, swimming all around that little well. He thought, life doesn't get any better than this. I have all that I need. But one day he looked up and noticed the light at the top of the well. The little frog became curious, wondering what was up there. He slowly climbed up the side of the well. When he got to the top, he cautiously peered out over the edge. Lo and behold, the first thing he saw was a pond. He couldn't believe it. It was 1,000 times bigger than the well. He ventured farther and discovered a huge lake. He stood there gazing in amazement. Eventually, the little frog hopped a little way and came to the ocean, where everywhere he looked, all he could see was water. He was shocked beyond measure. He began to realize how limited his thinking had been. He thought he had it all back in the well, but all he really had was a drop in the bucket compared to what God wanted him to enjoy. Think about this concept of change, change, and recognizing how we get comfortable. The status quo is this the name of the day. Don't get comfortable. And I tell people, hey, sometimes I make positive changes voluntarily on my own proactively, but there are also few and far between. There are instances where I'll get so uncomfortable, I'll get so unhappy in a situation where God really forces my hand and forces me to change and go in a different direction. And I think about my new gym folks, and you all have heard me, and imagine the people who know me. They're hearing me go on and on and on about Planet Fitness and how happy I am. And when we think about happiness, we think about having the courage to change and recognizing the positive impact that it can have on your life. I'm going to read to you an email. I came home last Friday, so Friday, July 7th, after working out at Planet Fitness there, and wrote a letter to corporate. And I'm going to read this for you quickly so you can see, again, like that frog in that story, looking out over that well and like, wow. Dear Planet Fitness corporate representative, as a new member, I would like to commend the team at the Novi-Michigan club on the great job they're doing. I have been a fitness enthusiast for 23 years, and I'm positively proud to say that Planet Fitness is now part of my fitness journey. I have been very impressed by the professionalism, helpfulness, and positivity of your staff. I can't single out one person because I've interacted with several staff members, and they all deserve kudos. The first time I came in to pick up my key fob, I signed in online. I smiled when I saw the manager's card front and center on the front desk. That let me know that accountability is important. I know Planet Fitness as a whole values accountability. The temperature in the club is perfect, the layout is precise, and the cleanliness is commendable. In fact, I interrupted the young man who was cleaning this morning and told him what a great job everyone does to keep the club immaculate. It is spotless, which has not gone unnoticed. On behalf of many, thank you for a wonderful workout experience. I'm extremely honored and happy to be your newest raving fan. All the best, Rachelle Smith, Novi-Michigan. So think about that. Think about that. I could have stayed stuck in a rut, unhappy, losing motivation for my workouts, but no, made a change. God said, Rachelle, I know you've been holding on here to the good in this gym, but what I need you to do is trust me. Rachelle Denise Smith, trust me, and go over here. Join this gym. And I'm thinking to myself, Planet Fitness, that traditionally is known as a beginner gym, and that's part of that's their marketing strategy. Novices, first-time gym goers, but there's people at all levels that join Planet Fitness. But that's their primary target market. And so I'm like, I've been 23 years, I have this background, whatever, my ego got in the way. But I trusted God, and I joined Planet Fitness on June 28th, and that is one of the best decisions I've ever made in life. Not just in fitness, but in life. I am so happy, folks. I am so happy. But it took the courage for change. It took me having the courage to change and say, say, I can't continue to be unhappy. I can't. I know I deserve better than that. And the same is true for you. You deserve to be happy. But it's going to often take change, and that's going to require courage in order to take those steps towards happiness and go in a different direction, whatever that means for you in whichever aspects of your life. And change is something I'm always doing. If you knew me personally, you would be shocked, because you'd be like, man, and me complaining about something, and whether I voice that directly, whether I'm writing a letter of complaint or giving feedback or anything like that, that could be negative in nature, that's always a sign that a change is coming. That's always a sign. And when I think about DirecTV, on Monday, June 26th, I actually canceled my DirecTV. Of course, my brother brought me a Fire Stick. I love that Fire Stick. But since I canceled DirecTV, I've got 2 digital antennas in both my bedrooms getting like 45 channels for free. And I've got Fire Stick. So I've got a fantastic television combination because I don't watch a lot of TV. But I'm so happy with the Fire Stick. And I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? And when I called to cancel, the DirecTV people were, you've got so-and-so months left on your contract. There's going to be an early termination fee. I don't care what the fee is. This is not up for discussion. Cancel my service and send me the final DirecTV bill. End of story. And I am so happy. And I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? All right, why didn't I do this sooner? My phone, you see here, folks, I got a new phone. Okay, I was very unhappy with my phone for a long time. And, we just had a design flaw where the battery would constantly drain, and you go online and read different forums, and other people had the same problem. So it was an issue with the phones and the design flaw. So constantly changing the phone, charging the phone. And so it was just a bad situation. And so finally, last weekend went and got a new phone and a new case, like my purple case. And so another change. I'm so happy. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? So again, 3 examples. Okay, joining Planet Fitness, getting rid of DirecTV, getting a new phone. These are major changes in the last 2 weeks. These are major changes, but I'm not afraid of change. Part of that, just growing up in a military environment, I recognize now where I may have disliked it then. It really built a very, very strong area of my life is the ability, and a trait of mine is to be adaptable, flexible, open to change, willing to make positive changes. But that's why I'm so happy, because I'm always thinking, I'm unhappy in this situation, I'm complaining, I got to do something about it, because I can't wake up every day being unhappy. That's just, I know I deserve better than that. And so, folks, a lot of changes that we make in our life, we may not understand. When I was in the corporate world and I left General Mills, which is the top 5 marketing company in the world, started my career there, but I was so unhappy in that job. Tied down to a desk, doing Excel spreadsheets, and it was awful. I hated that job. So see, the big name company, the prestigious company, but I was unhappy. So I had to make changes. When I left Novartis Pharmaceuticals, I was in pharmaceutical sales at the time, left Novartis and joined CVT, which is Cardiovascular Therapeutics, a small startup biotech based out of San Francisco. I was thinking, I'm leaving this big name company for this unknown startup. Folks, I was so happy at CVT. In fact, if our company wouldn't have been bought out, I would still be at CVT right now. You would not be watching this episode. I was so happy at that company. But again, our company getting bought and me being so unhappy and uncomfortable in that situation forced me to step out on faith, and pursue my dream and my true life calling and purpose, and what you're saying is a result of that right now. So very positive life changes. So don't get caught up in names, whatever. And me getting initially caught up in Planet Fitness and what does that represent? Whatever. I'm so happy. So make a choice for positive change in your life, but have the courage to do so, and your mind will be blown. As I shared on Fitness Friday, God's message to me, and it keeps resonating, it keeps circling on the rotisserie of my mind. And I was stretching last Saturday after the conclusion of my workout at Planet Fitness, and I made a special Planet Fitness playlist of songs of inspiration and all of that to support my positive change and just to keep me revved up during my workouts. And I'm I love my playlist. But this is one of the songs that's on my playlist, and it came on when I was stretching. It's a song from the 70s, my parents' era, by the Delphonics, called Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? Because, folks, God blew my mind. I didn't understand when he was telling me, trust me on this, go to Planet Fitness, go over here. And I just was initially resistant, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And I've been so freaking happy. And this song came on, Didn't I Blow Your Mind? And it was like, God, yes, you blew my mind. You blew my mind. I would never have been expected. I would never expected to be so happy. Haven't been this happy in 19 of my last 23 years in fitness, since I left the Barksdale Air Force Base Fitness Center in Louisiana. Love that gym, but this song spoke to me. So the changes that you make in your life, they may be mind-blowing. They may be mind-blowing. You don't even recognize it because you're so paralyzed by fear. You're stuck in a rut. You're stuck in mediocrity. And I challenge you today to recognize and value yourself more than that. You don't have to tolerate mediocrity. You don't have to tolerate being unhappy. You don't have to tolerate negativity, any of that. But it's going to take courage and it's going to take change on your part to create and sustain the life that you deserve and that you desire. But it's not going to happen without you. And folks, as I close, I actually want to dedicate this episode, Courage for Change, Pursuit of Happiness. I'm actually thinking about, this may be my next book. I'm thinking in my mind called Escape to Happiness. And these examples, my leaving Powerhouse, not really leaving, but in terms of full-time fitness focus, I probably haven't decided yet, going to stay there just a sprint and just keep Planet Fitness is my only gym. That's going to be a chapter. And all these other examples, many examples from my life where I had to have the courage to change, positive change, escape to happiness. All right, so I'm still thinking about that, but I want to dedicate this episode to my parents, Oscar and Willette Smith. We now celebrate their 47th year anniversary in September, but my parents, from a little girl, instilled in me just the value of happiness, being happy, but also recognizing that happiness is on me. I create the life I desire. Okay, but it was my parents just loving me and accepting me and just showing me what true happiness is as a girl, as a little girl. And so I demand happiness as an adult, as a woman now. I just demand it. It's just unacceptable for me to be happy. And that's why I'm one of the happiest people that everyone knows. And so that's a reason for that. So I thank you. I love you, Mom and Dad. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for helping me to understand and learn from a young age that I deserve to be happy and do whatever it takes to maintain that happiness that I so deserve. Secondly, I want to dedicate this to an old friend of mine we lost touch years ago, Dr. Shane Lee. It's Shane Lee, PhD. He was actually my resident assistant in the graduate dorms at Northwestern University. Sharp brother. Was getting his PhD at the time from Northwestern in sociology. He's now a college professor. Done very, very well, but we lost touch years ago. But something Shane told me, one of the best friends I will ever have in this life, was such a great encouragement to me. Shane told me a few years after our graduation, he said, Rachelle, don't ever let anyone turn you from a thoroughbred into a show horse. And I never forgot that. I never forgot those words of his to me. So I'm willing to take steps to be happy, to be the true person that I can be and deserve to be, and create this life of happiness that I so deserve. But I'm so grateful for people that have come into my life that have encouraged me, have really supported me and stood by me as I make these positive life changes. Because if people know, if I'm unhappy with a situation, it has to be bad because I'm such a positive, happy person. But they also know that happiness is not a factor in my life. It's just unacceptable. Okay, my license plate, one of my cars says love in life, the other one says joy for life. There's a reason for that. Happiness is so important to me, but it takes the courage for change to make that happen. So folks, I want to just challenge you one last time. Choose happiness, whatever that means for you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There's happiness on the other side of change. Thank you so much for your time. Make it a wonderful